right, so I want to talk about resistance. I want to title this message "Resist the Resistance." Um, the basis of this message is from the sermon "Resist the Resistance" from Stephanie Ike. And this season of my life, I feel like I'm going through a transitional phase or a stage of preparation for the next season I'm supposed to walk into. But although it's preparation and although I know I'm being prepared to do something, the thing that I'm feeling is resistance. And I didn't quite understand that that was what I was feeling initially until she gave me the words to describe what I'm feeling. So now I feel a lot more powerful in this season because I understand that there's a word for it, that I'm not alone, and there's something that is supposed to happen whenever I'm supposed to walk into a new season of my life. So she goes and she explains about that resistance is the attempt to prevent something by action or argument. So once you understand that resistance, its goal is to prevent you from doing something, it kind of like should give you a little clarity as to if I allow this resistance to win, I am essentially not going to fulfill the purpose, dream, or promise that I'm after because I'm allowing resistance to win. And I kind of equate resistance to, let's use basketball for example, or even any exercise that you do. If you put on a resistance band, the point of the resistance band is to pull you back. And yes, you may hate wearing a resistance band because it's so like it takes way more energy and strength to get to wherever you're trying to go when there's something wrapped around your waist or your legs or your arms that's holding you back and not allowing you to fully get to where you're trying to go the quickest way. But I've learned that by using the analogy of a resistance band, that the point of a resistance band is to strengthen your muscles for when you take off the band. So let's just say I'm walking through this journey, right? God has given me a vision. He's given me a dream. He's called me to do something more. And for some reason, I'm walking through a season of resistance. And I have this resistance band wrapped around my waist. And I'm trying to walk into the next season of my life. But for some reason, unlike all the other seasons that I've been in, for some reason, I feel like as I walk, there's something like tugging at me. And that is essentially the resistance band pulling you back. But let's just say, if I keep fighting and I keep fighting through that resistance, when I'm done the training, the next time I go work out, or even after I take off the resistance band, the next time I work out or I do that, it'll be a lot easier to do that exercise or get there quicker because I no longer have that resistance that's pulling me back. And the point of resistance is to strengthen us. It is literally, the point is supposed to prepare us for the next season. And you have to, if it's easier to equate it to like your muscles and your muscles needing to be pushed and pulled and tightened to get stronger, that is essentially what the season of our life, if you are feeling like incapable or you're having moments of doubting the things that God has called you to do. And I know for me, God has given me a vision of a whole list of things that he wants me to do in the next season of my life. But for some reason, y'all, I don't feel like I can do it, or I don't feel like I'm the one for the job. And I'm just being completely open and transparent with you all. A part of me is like, yeah, I'm God's child and I can do anything that God tells me to do. But then there's the human emotion where doubt does come in. So I do have moments of doubt where I'm like, was that really God? Or am I really supposed to do this? Or why would he be calling me to do that? I haven't even been in this that long, or I don't even know how to do that. Where do I even begin? So as a human, I've learned, and I'm learning that the emotion of opposition, the emotion of that doubt is going to come. We're humans. We're born into a world of sin. Even as believers and people that are following this journey with God of becoming better versions of ourselves, we're still humans. And as a human, we still live in a sinful world. So we are going to sin, number one. Number two, we're going to have moments of feeling incapable of living a life without sin and following God to be better. That just comes with the territory. She says, it's impossible to receive a word from God without opposition. So basically, whenever we get a word from God, or whenever we get a vision or a dream, or he tells us to move and go into something else, we're going to face opposition. It's kind of like a cause and effect. Like if he causes us or he calls us to go do something, you best bet that you're going to feel some type of tugging. I used to call it the tugging of like my spirit. I would feel like my spirit's under attack. Like, I don't know what it is, but like something is trying to like take my spirit, or something's trying to make me think that I can't do this thing that God just told me to do. And I want to equate that part to Satan or the devil, whoever you call him, whatever, I don't know. His whole purpose is to prevent us from becoming the person or the thing that God has called us to do. Like, that's his entire purpose. He has boundaries. God only allows him to work within parameters of God's power. Satan cannot kill us. He can't physically hurt us or harm us. The only thing that he can do is cause our mind and our thoughts to think that, oh no, you're not really called to do that. Why would God be calling you? You're too small for that. You're not big enough. You don't know enough people. You don't have enough in you to do that. That is his job. His job is to be that little button in the back of your head that scratches sometimes when you have those moments of doubt. His job is to amplify that button. His job is to make that button get bigger. Like, he only thrives off of making us believe that we're not called. So once we realize that his power, in a sense, is to make us doubt and believe and not believe in the things that God is calling us to be, that should give us power, that because we have those doubts, we have the power to talk ourselves out of those doubts. It's a scripture, James 4 says, therefore submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Like, I equate that to whenever I have a season of feeling resistance, or like a dark, I used to call it the dark cloud and the tugging on my spirit. So a dark cloud, I would feel like I would wake up and it might be a sunny day, but for some reason I feel like there's like this cloud over my head that will rain at any time, but it's just dark. It is like covering my spirit in a way. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but that's kind of how I felt. And when I read this scripture, I would pray like, okay, God, I submit to you. I know that you are the God of all gods. You are the only God. And I know that if I come to you with a weary heart and an open mind, that you will help me understand what you're calling me to do. And I will literally open up the door, like my front door. I will open up the front door and be like, devil, you got to go. Like, I'm ready to resubmit my life to God. I realize that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made and that you have no place here. You have to go. And I will literally, you might think I'm crazy, but I will literally open up my door and let his little weak little devil energy get out of my house, because you have no control over me anymore. I realize who I am. I know I'm God's child, and I know that I'm called. So I'm learning, and I've learned that his purpose is to take our mind and make us doubt everything that God is calling us to be. And it's such a horrible job to have. Like, you only thrive when I am not able to fully understand who I am. Like, you can't even be God in any other thing. The only thing that you could possibly win is to make people believe that they're not called. So I'm here to tell you, because God is telling me to tell you that you are called. And that little button in the back of your head that wants to keep expanding, you have to talk back to it. You have to say, no, I know who I am. I'm God's child. God is my creator. I have Jesus in me. I have the power of Jesus in me. Like, you have to learn how to talk back to those thoughts and that energy, or Satan that's trying to take what God put on your life. Like, I equate this part to, I was watching a show, I can't remember the show, but the Holy Spirit led Jesus into the wilderness, and Jesus was on his knees and he was praying. He was like, God, right before he was getting crucified, right before he went to the cross, when Jesus was in the wilderness, Jesus was on his knees and he was crying. He was like, God, like, I know I came down here. I know I was supposed to save your people. I know I was supposed to do your work, and I was supposed to die on the cross. But like, do I really have to die? Like, is this really are you really calling me? Am I really your son? And am I really supposed to do this thing? And God I equate this to me being a follower of Jesus and not actually being in heaven. So understanding the other side of life. I equate when Jesus was on his knees having that doubt as whenever I face a season of resistance. I have moments where I feel like, God, like, are you really calling me? Like, I'm only 22. I'm not perfect. I don't have my life all together. I don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Like, are you really calling me? And I equate when Jesus was down on the ground and he was just doubting everything that he had just done and all the people that he had just brought closer to God. He doubted, and I believe that he doubted because Jesus was human. Yes, he is spirit, but he was human. His body form was human. So I think that Jesus showed us that it's okay to have those moments of doubt. And I remember distinctly on the side of while Jesus was in the wilderness, Satan was he was in like the side by the tree. And he was standing over there like, yeah, like, are you sure you called by God? Like, are you sure you're the Son of God? Like, who says that? Who told you that? Did you really hear that from God? And it reminded me again of his purpose is to make us think that we're not called by God. And it's funny because yes, Satan was on the side while Jesus was trying to like understand, was this really what God was telling him to do? But Satan also sent his snake. Please don't throw up on me, but he sent his snake to surround Jesus while he was on his knees. Like the snake was just like surrounding him. He was going around him while the devil was talking to him. But I did realize in that moment that although Satan was surrounding him, he never touched him. He never bit Jesus. He never touched Jesus. He never hurt Jesus in any way. He just tried to get Jesus to change his mind about what God said he was. So now that I know that literally the devil can't touch me, he can only try to help change my mind about who I am to God, that should give you power. That should give you power because he can't do anything besides take your mind. And why would you let somebody that his whole purpose is to take your mind, why would you let him win? I don't know. I'm a little competitive. Now that I know your goal is to take my mind and make me think that I'm not called, now I gotta think that I'm called. Now I gotta show you that I'm called, because you can't have my spirit. You can have anybody else's spirit that don't know that they're called and don't want to be called. But for the people that wake up every day and it's like, God, who am I? What are you calling me to do? What is this season representing? Like, those are the questions that I'm learning. That's how I live a blessed and fulfilled life. And I may not have all the riches and all the things that I want, but I've learned that that's not even the life I want to live. I want to live a purposeful life. I want to live a life that when I die and I get called to heaven, that my daughter and other people that listen to me and are inspired by me in whatever way, however I touch your heart, I pray that you like, damn, that's one thing Sharia did do. She told me how to get up off the ground. She showed me how to talk myself out of some of those thoughts and those things that the devil was trying to tell me. Like, that's my mission. That's my purpose. That's my goal, is that I want to live a life so blessed and so filled that when people look at me, they like, oh, God can do miracles. Because I know her. Like, I used to know her back when she was in middle school and high school. Like, that ain't no just, she's not no perfect child. Like, I'm not. But there's one thing I'm learning, and I'm learning to battle the devil with my words. I'm learning to battle life with my words, because life can be so distracting, and it can be consuming, and it can be a lot. But when you realize who is your God, and that you can do anything through God, and that you can ask him for anything, and you can pray for anything, and that when you have those moments of feeling weary and resistance, that if you pray, God, like, I need you, like, I feel this resistance, I feel this tugging of my spirit, but I know who you are. I know who I am because of you. I know that you have the power to get the devil out of here, and you gave me that power. So if I can talk in this moment, if I can speak life over me, God, show me how to do that. Life is a conversation with God. Everything you do, everything we do is a conversation with him. Everything. So I pray that you start talking to yourself to realize that you're powerful. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead is the same power that's in you. It really is. And I want you to believe that. And I want you to believe that you may be in a season of feeling resistance, of feeling incapable, and feeling like God gave me a vision, but like, I don't really know how to do that. It's not something that I've ever done before. I don't know why he's calling me. I'm going to tell you like this. God picked me up off the bathroom floor in my lowest moment in life. And now I'm living a life where it's not all peaches and cream, but like, even down to my daughter sitting here right now, y'all, this is not something I even imagined. I never imagined her. Ever. I just wanted to get up off of the bathroom floor. Like, I wanted to just live for that day. You know, like, I wanted to just make it to the night and get to the next day. I didn't even, like, what? A child and a man and a like, no. I never dreamed of this. This is not what I prayed for, essentially. Honestly, this came later on. I prayed later on. But when I first had my moment of just the world against me and not knowing where to go, I just prayed that God would just get me off of the floor. Like, help me understand who I am. Like, those are the things that I learned to ask God. And I'm learning now that when you become inquisitive about who you are, and who God is, and what does God say about you, and not listen to what other people tell you are and who they tell you can be. I feel like you about to just throw up on me. Oh, that's saliva. Okay. So yeah, I recommend that you watch Resist the Resistance by Stephanie Ike, because it has changed my perspective on the season that I'm currently in. It's giving me power in re-believing in what I'm called to do. And I want you to feel that. I want you, if you feel like you can't do it, or you don't know how to do it, or you've never done it before, or you don't even know where to start, and you may have in moments of like doubt and feeling incapable and incompetent, watch that sermon. Because you may not understand it from me. Because y'all know I just talk because I just talk. But if you don't understand it from me, watch the sermon, because she'll give you words for what you may be feeling. Okay? So I love y'all. And my man is calling. But I love y'all. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And welcome to Rio Rants, where I just run my mouth because I don't know how to shut up. Okay? See y'all later.